That's a great way to look at it. From the 304, do you like the idea of college football separating from the NCAA like Gene Smith is proposing?
Yes.
At this point, yeah. I mean, why not? At this point, what is really holding them to what the NCAA is doing as an organization, or what they have accomplished here as of late, would not give me any vote of confidence if I was some of these college athletics officials. I mean, it's clear there's no guidance and there's very little leadership, and it's basically the commissioners and school presidents who are doing a enormous amount of the work, or at least, like last night, there wasn't anybody from the NCAA, at least that I saw. And if I missed it, I apologize. But the ones that I saw rushing out to Washington to try and go talk to politicians was 2 conference commissioners, right? It was Larry Scott and Greg Sankey, if I'm remembering that correctly. So the schools are the ones that it seems like are trying to at least get the ball rolling, whereas, the NCAA as an organization, I can't name anybody outside of the now former president of it that's involved. So I don't have any faith in them. I haven't had any faith in them for a long time. We've just watched them with massive challenge after massive challenge that's crept up over the years. Even the ones they had years and years of warning for just sit on their hands and collect money and refuse to change, and then say, well, we're not changing because we're just waiting on the federal government to tell us what to do, or we're not going to do this because the federal government will tell us what to do. So, I mean, I don't know what they could even feasibly do that would make any sense at this point, or that would gain any traction. So, yeah, in terms of breaking off from the NCAA, it seems like an ominous sort of thing when you just, change is difficult for some, and being disconnected from the NCAA would be a situation that none of us have ever seen before, really. So it would be very strange and a huge shift. But at this point, why not? Like, what direction are you going with the current structure? The direction of losing every single ounce of power that you ever had, and basically having no say in anything, and basically being too chicken, not even chicken, probably not the right word, but too hesitant to even do anything because it's going to get shot down and shot through, or arrogant, or whatever you want to say. But bottom line is, it's all negatives. It's not positives. And so, yeah, I don't know what would want you to maintain the current system.
Well, I've been an advocate of separating football out, at least in a governance thing, for a long time before NIL was even really a viable option. Because if you look at 85 scholarships, when you talk about Title IX alone, to match 85 scholarships, you're talking 3 or 4 sports to 1 to match that level. And if you took football out of the equation, because there's not a women's sport that's 85 scholarships, that you would need that many people to play, that's a different thing. And to treat it differently would just be addressing the reality of it.
But then aren't you going to lose women's sports scholarships? If you're going to do Title IX with equality, will they then lose the opportunity for more scholars for the?
Or I mean, I just thought it would. I mean, to me, it would make sense. And then they're not maybe dumping money into creating things that aren't viable financially. And look, I'm all about opportunity, but then it's kind of maybe a middle of the road thing to make things work.
Well, they're going to be the argument. Whoa, at 85, we need the 85,
and maybe leave the 85, but stop trying to compare them the same way. And the other thing is, stop trying to compare it to all the other sports. There's 85 scholarships. There's not another sport that needs that. 2, there's 100,000 seat stadiums. They only play 1 game a week, as where every other sport plays multiple games per week for the most part. And then even when you come to NIL, there's only 1 sport in NIL, men's basketball, that's going to get the same kind of outside the university recruiting push and money in those collectives. Look, we have a volleyball player in this room. I'm sure she would love it if somebody came to her and said, I'll give you $1 million to stay. Yeah. But that's not the current economic landscape. So, moving football out would only make sense to me in all of those other realms.
We're going to take a break a little bit earlier than we normally do. Scott Drew's going to join us on the other side. Andrea Cameron, the government, by the way, guys, is as big a joke as the NCAA.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir right here. Let me tell you, you are preaching straight to the choir. Music to my ears, and totally agree. But, you can't even, approach it before, sides break out and a fence is built between, 2 sides. But, no, I absolutely agree with you. I can't stand it.
Also, 1 or 2 other comments. Again, Markel Hookham,